All My Exes Die After We Break Up, written by Reddit user JamesGum724. My first girlfriend, Crystal, died at 16, right after I broke up with her. For a long time I thought it was just a coincidence. I felt differently when my next girlfriend, Nicole, died right after we broke up a few years later. They both died in odd circumstances. Crystal crashed her car flat sober on a straight road by herself. Nicole drowned in the bathtub after falling asleep. Both were labelled as accidents. I was never questioned by police, but plenty of people around town talked. Wondered if I was cursed. I wondered the same. Then I moved away. The military took me all the way across the country, and I was happy. I fell in love with a girl named Katie. Everything was good. Until I went to a cousin's wedding out of town by myself. The drinks flowed. Too many. I lost control. I got in deep with a girl there I thought was too hot to not keep talking to, keep drinking with. We ended up back at my hotel room. I was too drunk to stop. We had sex and she stayed the night with me. I woke up with an instant sinking feeling of regret. I also woke up alone. But the girl whose name I couldn't even remember was in the bathroom. She was crying. I listened to her weep uncontrollably for a few moments, unsure of what to do. Then I heard glass breaking and I rushed into the bathroom. The girl from the night before was in there with a shard of broken mirror in her grasp. I begged her not to hurt herself. She screamed back at me that she loved her boyfriend and she couldn't believe what she had done, and she wanted to die. Then, she inexplicably started saying a name I hadn't heard in years. Hollyeve. Hearing that name reached into the darkest recesses of my brain. Hollyeve was a dirt poor girl in my 5th grade class. Homely. She was teased and someone who received no interest as someone anyone wanted to date. Instead, she was mocked. We went too far. Someone dared me to ask out Hollyeve and pretend to be her boyfriend for a week. I agreed to do it, trying to impress my peers. Hollyeve seemed to have no idea the thing was a farce. She held my hand in the schoolyard and didn't seem to see the other kids snickering all the while. The worst part is, I could feel she was sweet and genuine during our time together. She was a nice person. I had to get out of it. I had my friend break up with her a few days into the spoof relationship. Hollyeve was crushed. I felt horrible. She never made eye contact with me again. One day after recess, I came back to my desk and found a piece of paper with burnt ends, and found an endless abyss of vulgar and dark words scrawled all over it in black ink and pentagrams. I tried to decipher what it specifically all meant, but couldn't. It just said awful things. Embarrassed and guilty, I never told anyone about it or confronted Hollyeve about it. Hollyeve moved away at the end of that school year. One of the girls in class said she lived near her and thought her parents were deep into the occult. Witches, spells, all that kind of stuff. I figured it was bullshit. It wasn't until I heard the woman in the bathroom screaming out her name that all those scrawled words of hate and love and darkness on that burnt paper Hollyeve left on my desk came back into my head. That dark little girl must have cursed me and any lover that's left me. Hollyeve. The words spat out of my one-night stand in the bathroom and snatched me out of my memory dive. Then the woman took that shard of glass and ferociously sliced both of her wrists before I could even try to do anything. The girl from the wedding ended up living, and she explained to everyone that she did what she did to herself and wanted to cover up for me being there to protect her own relationship. So I got lucky, and no one ever found out. I know what you're thinking now though, but don't. The girl later died after her wounds were infected from the gashes. The curse was still alive. I had an easy solution to it all. I was going to marry Katie and stay with her forever. I proposed. She was a bit thrown off by the haste, but she said yes. Everything was going well. We kept going through the motions of love and prep and slow planning our wedding. I wasn't in any particular hurry. Then I came home one day, and her wedding ring was resting on the kitchen counter with a note that she was leaving me. No particular reason given. She said in the note she had to stay away from me for a week so she could be clear of mind. There was no way I could make that happen. I knew I was racing a clock. I was waiting to hear that she had died every second as I drove around going to every place that she could be. I found her at her sister's house, and after hours of pleading and explaining that her safety was in serious question, she finally came out and talked to me in the yard. I explained everything. I watched her face convey that she now regretted every single second of our relationship. Then she walked inside. Weeks went by without much sleep. I kept just thinking I was soon going to be invited to her funeral, and I wondered if it would be in some circumstance where people thought I might have done it to her. She showed up in the middle of the night one night with a knock on my door. I let her in, so happy to see her alive and breathing. She explained she had nearly died in 3 separate freak accidents since she left me. She believed in the curse. She could feel it inside her. She had suicidal thoughts she had never even imagined before. We had to be together. The wedding was back on. Now you're probably wondering, why did that dark little girl who I fucked with back in 5th grade do something that ultimately won me back the love of my life? Wasn't she now going to kill Katie or something? The thing was, my time away from Katie made me realise that I didn't love her. I didn't really miss her and enjoyed my time alone. I thought about my previously dearly departed partners and thought I loved them more than her, and I dreamed of a relationship that would truly bring it all together for me. I was cursed with a fake love forever, or I had to be okay with Katie dying. So, the fake relationship I pranked that poor girl with in 5th grade meant I was going to be stuck in a fake relationship for the rest of my life. Well played, Hollyeve. For part 2, look for the link in the description. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, comment, share and like, and press the bell to get notifications when new videos are uploaded. If you have a story that you want Jimmy Horrors to read, send it to jimmyhorrorsnarrations@gmail.com. Until next time, stay horrific everyone.